Alabama football has entered a storm it cannot ignore. The program that once embodied dominance is drifting further from its identity, and Kalen DeBoer's tenure is beginning to look untenable. Since last September's early triumph over Georgia, the Crimson Tide have unraveled with alarming consistency. Road struggles, soft defensive fronts, and an inability to finish games have replaced the relentless edge once synonymous with the Tide. Losses to middling opponents like Vanderbilt and Oklahoma weren't flukes, they were warnings. Now, after being manhandled by Florida State, the questions are deafening. Defensive coordinator Kane Wommack bears much of the fan base's wrath. His unit ranks at the bottom of the SEC against the run, and Saturday's outing only deepened the frustration. Ryan Grubb, new to the offense, has more leeway, but the lack of rhythm is already under scrutiny. Firing DeBoer would carry a staggering financial penalty, one Alabama can scarcely justify, yet the whispers grow louder with each meek performance. The aura left by Nick Saban has vanished, and what remains is a team that looks vulnerable in nearly every meaningful road test. Alabama isn't alone in this slide. Clemson, the other titan of the 4-team playoff era, is grappling with its own decline. Dabo Swinney still wins plenty, but his unwillingness to fully embrace the transfer portal has left his roster behind the curve. Saturday's loss to LSU underlined the gap. Brian Kelly's Tigers leaned on portal pickups across the trenches and secondary to impose their will, while Clemson's roster looked dated and inflexible. The Tigers' struggles against top-flight opponents have become impossible to ignore. Losses to Georgia, South Carolina, Texas, and now LSU paint a picture of a program no longer built to dominate the nation's best. The offense with Cade Klubnik turned one-dimensional against LSU, abandoning the run and failing to score after halftime. Death Valley's roar faded into resignation as fans watched familiar issues resurface. Swinney insists he believes in this team, projecting optimism in the face of criticism. Yet faith must soon turn to results. The road ahead features tests against Georgia Tech, SMU, Duke, Florida State, and Louisville, each capable of exposing further cracks. Once, Alabama and Clemson stood as the defining programs of an era. Now both face existential seasons. For Alabama, the problem is systemic erosion under a costly new regime. For Clemson, it is stubborn adherence to old ways in a new era. The spotlight is no longer flattering, and the clock is ticking.